joined by the assistant coach at Kaizer Chiefs, Coach Dillon Sheppard. Unfortunately, due to Coach Arthur's one not feeling well, he could not make it, but I'm sure Coach Dillon Sheppard will explain further. But Coach Arthur's one is not feeling well, and it was a last-minute swap, and we've got the capable Coach Dillon Sheppard to stand in for him. Coach, just your thoughts, heading into that match. It's the Nedbank Cup, we're playing at home. Casric Stars being the opponent, an opportunity, obviously, to progress within the Nedbank Cup, and maybe an opportunity for a trophy at the end of the season.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. Yes, there's a quarterfinals berth to play for. Preparation has gone really, really well. With 2 games now, 2 clean sheets, gaining momentum, a trophy to play for, a very important trophy to play for. The guys, the energy's been really, really good. Looking forward to the match. Yeah, like we said, Coach Arthur was a little bit under the weather. I'm sure he wished he could be here because he knows the energy and things that have been leading up to this game, positivity. And it's about momentum now, not just about the Nedbank Cup. I think going into these next league games, we also want to gain the right momentum, going into with the right headspace, with the right energy. And I think that's what we've been seeing from the players.
Thank you, Coach. Let's take the first question from the floor, just by a show of hands. I've noted the hands here. Let's start once more with Tepo.
Thanks, Fatu. Coach, the importance of consistency, because the team this season so far, it has been touch and go in terms of producing positive results on a daily basis. So the importance of consistency. Thanks.
Thanks, Epo. Yeah, of course, consistency very important. If you take the Golden Arrows game out of it, with 3 clean sheets going into that game, a lot of good energy, a lot of positivity, and then all of a sudden, it's one of those games that we go into the lead twice, and I don't want to say throw it away, maybe through certain areas here and there, and then sort of knocks the confidence on where we're heading, where we've been going with our performances, and then now we seem to be back, where we were. So right consistency is the right word. It's important for us, like I say now, where we are, quarterfinal berth. We need to focus on that. That's the game coming up, and then gaining the momentum and taking that confidence now into the next games that follow. So that's really important for us.
Okay, we've got questions here. Let's start with Bendulo and then Temba.
Coach, Bendulo is here, freelance. Coach, I just want to find out about the confidence and the psychological state of the players, knowing that Kaizer Chiefs have, in the recent years have tasted defeat from lower division clubs, Richards Bay, TS Galaxy, you name them. So going to these games, senior players like Keegan and Oyo, Eric, Tumile Kune, how are they feeling towards this game and their confidence level in terms of making sure that they get maximum results and progress to the next stage? Thank you.
Well, I think you don't want to look at past. We're going forward. If you look at the Richards Bay game, how the squad has changed, it's made up of it's almost a totally different squad. Yes, we have players that were part of that squad, so they can share the experiences. But like I say, going in, we have to look forward and the opposition ahead, what's coming ahead of us. Like I say, I think the guys are focused. Like I said, the energy this week has been really, really good. So yeah, we need to just focus game by game, and like I say, let's keep moving forward and not look what's happened in the past. We know what's lying ahead of us, so we need to focus on that.
Thank you. Tamba Shawala, Joseph from Sports. Coach, you as Kaizer Chiefs, you've had about 8 red cards against you in the past games, but you still couldn't capitalize on that as a club. Yes, some of the games you won, but in essence, that says you don't know how to shift and get the positivity out of either your players and the playing pattern itself. At some instances, you still defend with 4, while the opponent have lost a midfielder, defender. What causes that, coach? And is it something that you are working on? And still talking about Richards Bay, as a former player, you know they've lost a player yesterday. I don't know, Coach, do you think that in South Africa, do we take enough care on medical checks, or we only do medicals when a player gets to sign a contract?
So let me tackle the first one. You know, I've read a lot of stories in that we're not being able to play against 10 men when the team drops back into when the team drops back into a low block. We're not able to break down the block. I feel if you look at the chances that we created, I think the only game we can go back to is TS Galaxy, where I felt that with our movement, I don't think we created enough opportunities in that game. We didn't move them enough with our ball rotation. Something that we spoke about, something that we worked on the training pitch. If you look at the other games, I mean, the Richards Bay game, 21 chances. If you look at the chances that we missed, it wasn't really from those where the team was sitting back in a low block. Tactically, we've worked on it. We've looked at how we're breaking down teams, and if you look at the opportunities that we did create, it was a matter of the last touch, the last decision making, and then the execution. You know, so it wasn't about breaking down the team or breaking down the 10 men. I think we did do that. It was just a matter of, you know, if the opportunity goes in. And if you look at the two red cards, I mean, if the goalkeeper from Richards Bay doesn't come out and we score the goal, then we 2-0 up. You know, then we're not talking about goals. You know, if Sailor goes through and scores the one against Pirates, you know, then we're 2-0 up. Then we're talking a different game. So, yeah, goals. Of course, winning games is about scoring goals. And like I say, it's something that we're really working on. And the only way we can correct that is by working hard on the training pitch. Going to the second one, my sincere condolences to Mtolo's family and the Richards Bay family. It's a heavy loss. It's a really, really heavy loss, and like I say, I just want to send our condolences. You know, we've lost a soldier. I mean, he played a huge part in the team coming up from the NFD as a captain. And with regards to I haven't read anything about the reports on his passing, on medically what happened. Collapsing on the training pitch. It could be anything. Until we get the facts, until we know what happened with the post-mortem and we can see, then we can sort of, work on how we can. But yeah, medicals very, very important when we're recruiting players, to get the medical history, because that's really, really important, because, a lot of the times we go and buy players and we don't know the medical history, where they've been. I've been in a situation where we were supposed to sign a player and at the last minute he had a little hole in his heart. So, those things you pick up, and then, those are signs. So, yeah, it's really, really important when it comes to that medically, that we, any players that come into our system or come from overseas and that they need to be fully checked and fully medically passed before they sign.
All right, let's move on to other questions if there are any hands. Tembiso.
Hi, Coach. It's Tembiso from Arena Holdings. Coach, I just want to know, how much do you know of your Casric stars as you are approaching them this weekend? What are you expecting from them?
As you know, we've got two loanees here, Sifama and Milazi. So we've obviously been monitoring their performances. So they've given us an opportunity to see one or two of their games with the analysts. So we have a little bit of information, but I think the main focus will be on us and how we set up, how we prepared going into this game. So as much as you have all the information on them, but we still need to go and play our game, and get the victory to go into quarterfinals.
Okay, Velile.
Coach Velile from SAC. Yesterday, 35-man squad of Bafana released only one Kaizer Chiefs player and not a single on-field player, just a goalkeeper only. An institution in this country. Does it concern you? Especially considering that some players came as Bafana regulars to the team.
We are all here for the nation, and it's up to the coach to select the players he feels that's going to do the nation proud. We are there to support him. Of course, as a coach, we would love to see our players in the national team, but the coach has got to make a selection, and we've got to support that selection. And of course, we've got to work hard to improve our players, that our players can be up there for selection. But like I say, it's important for us as a nation. We are together. We will support the coach and what decision he makes. But yes, we will work harder to make sure that he does select more of our players.
Okay, any takers? We go for the last round of questions. I don't see new hands. Tepo, I've noted you. I was just looking for new hands. Okay, let's go back to Tepo.
Thanks. Coach, playing in team that's not playing in the top division, we know the story with regards to the past, especially with the Nedbank Cup for Kaizer Chiefs, losing against so-called Linos. How is the technical team this time around going to ensure that it does not repeat this coming Sunday? Thanks.
Very important to approach the game with the right mindset, with the right mentality as first, because when you're going into the game, it's not about divisions, it's a quarterfinal berth that is waiting for us. So we have to do what is required to win a football match. And I think we're in the right space, in the right frame of mind to make sure that we will go through to the quarterfinals. And that's the most important. Yes, the preparations and all those things have been really good, like I've said, but the most important is the right mindset and the right desire to want to win a football match.
Charlie?
Coach, Michelle Balaga from the Star newspaper. Coach, you've been an assistant for quite some time, starting from Reds, then at Chiefs as a second assistant coach. But now, having seen what happened this season with Chiefs when they started, the poor boys when they started coming in, calling for the coach to be dismissed and all that. What has been your role during the turbulent time with the coach? How have you been actually motivating him to say that it's a process and get time as well? And also, what was your responsibility basically to make sure that he's all never had and knowing what is up his sleeve? Thank you.
My role as assistant, and that assistant is to assist him in every single possible way. I'm there for him is to support. So I need to be there for him. And when times are tough, he knows that I've got his back, 100%. Really, really important. He knows that when he goes home at night, hopefully he can sleep well, knowing that he's got all the support in the world that he needs. Because we know what this job is about. And being at the head of Kaizer Chiefs, the pressures that come with it, with a little bit of the history now. But he knows that he's got me 100% support. I'm there for him 24 hours, and whatever that is needed, I'm there for that.
Okay, we still have time. So Velile and Pendulo. Give a second.
Take the word. Okay. Coach, I think it was 3 seasons or 2 seasons ago, you had teenagers taking you to a Champions League Cup final, and I've seen this season, and I mean I was sharing this with some colleagues a few days ago to say, normally when we're called here to judge for the young player of the season, we're scrambling, trying to get players who've played a set number of games, but this season the judging is going to be a bit difficult. And then there's someone who's got a track record in this space, especially yourself, Coach Ata as well. What would you attribute this good thing that we're seeing of more young players, especially teenagers, finally getting the required game time at the end level?
I think one of the most important is creating the right environment for youngsters to thrive in. And that's striking the balance of having good, experienced players around them who can guide them through the process. And like I say, having the environment, a training space where they feel comfortable, they feel that when the opportunity comes, that they can perform, and also opportunity. It's important that we can have talented youngsters, but if we never give them the opportunity, if you looked at the start of Mdu in the first couple of games, we could have easily said after 1 or 2 games, maybe he needs time to grow on it. But now if you see where he's come already in 5-6 games, where he's gone from where he started and where he is now. And hopefully we can give more opportunities. But like I said, it's providing them the right platform, which is really, really important, support and guidance, and then knowing that when they get to that level, the hard work only starts then, because it's not about arriving with a contract or arriving now in the first team. It's about now progressing and being a starting 11 player and being an important player for the club.
Okay, Bendulo, then Temba. I think we'll then close it there. Okay, you, my brother Siasanga, you will have the last one.
Coach, Bendulo Stole here, friends. Coach, you and Coach Atazwani have been at the club for I think 2 or 3 years now, and you know the pressure of bringing accolade to a big team like Kaizer Chiefs, and you've seen what happened to Coach Ernst and Sean Bartlett after losing the final in 2019. So I just want to find out the pressure and the priority of making sure that by the end of the season you finish this prestigious Nedbank Cup. So the preparations and the focus and the squad, how is it going so far? And if you can predict, maybe, do you think you guys have a chance of actually reaching another final this season to ease the pressure from the fans as well? Thank you.
Of course, I'm sure you guys have always heard, it's the process. Pressure is always going to be there. Just from a personal, I had pressures winning the league as a player. I had pressures of relegation. They're very, very two different pressures, and obviously we know where we are with regards to a huge club like Kaizer Chiefs and the pressures that come with it. After seven seasons of not winning a trophy, the demand from the fans, we know where we are, but it's also important for us that while we're in the pressure to make sure that we keep the quality of our work at the highest possible level, the focus, and know that we can work together as a club, not just the coaches, but our whole technical team, because we all play a huge important role. Because it's not just us that are doing the job. Everyone's there to support us. So we've got good support, and we just need to focus game by game. That's the most important thing. If we start talking about the final, or start talking about the trophy, I think the most important thing is the next game. If we get the next game right, then we can focus on the next game. And I think as that goes along, well, I think it bodes well for us if we can just keep our heads and keep the focus.
Coach, I just thought I should find out from you. I mean, this is one important domestic cup, the Nedbank Cup, because it secures a space for you in the Confederation Cup, and Kaizer Chiefs can still finish on position 2 depending on how you do on your remaining games. I mean, what's the emphasis around competing in the continental football space? I mean, Kaizer Chiefs is a big team, not to finish, within that space, to be counted among big teams in Africa that are competing year in and year out, and we've seen them not, doing that well until they went into the final. Where are you? Is it something that you guys talk about among yourself as technical team and management, that let's win the Nedbank Cup to go to the Confederation Cup? If we fail to do that, let's push for second spot, where you're still going to fight it off with the likes of Orlando Pirates, the Richards Bay themselves, they're still there. But what is the talk around continental football, seeing that this is one of the easier stepping stones going forward?
Once you've had a taste of the Champions League and Africa and going all the way to the final like we did, and have that experience, our talk has always been Champions League. Has to be, the top competition. And like you say, this club deserves to be, with the stature of the club and its history, and it's our job to win it. That's the space we need to be talking in. Yes, this cup gives us an opportunity to play in the Confederations Cup, but to be honest with you, we want to be in that Champions League a spot, because that, like I say, once you've had a taste of that and the experience of that, I think it's the only place you want to be.
Okay, last question, Siasana.
Siasana Munwalibi from Sunday World. Coach, we finally saw the strike partnership of Caleb and Saide over the weekend. So I just want to know, what did you make of it, and will we be seeing more of that going forward?
Well, you won't be seeing it this weekend, unfortunately, because Saide is suspended. But you know, there's an adaptation phase, you know, with foreigners coming in. Obviously, you know, the life, getting used to life in Joburg, getting used to you or your teammates. We've seen glimpses of the quality that they do bring. You know, Caleb, as big as he is, you know, he can drop in, he can play on the half turn, you know, he sees the spaces. Saile, you saw he's quick, he's strong. He's got to just work a little bit, you know, technically when he comes inside, you know, to combine. But like I say, as his communication gets better with football, with the players around him, I think you're going to see a lot more. And also too, they give us speed, they give us aerial presence. So yeah, I don't think we've seen close to the best of them, but it's up to us to give them the opportunity to work every day and get better and better and improve.
Okay, we're gonna end it here. Thank you very much, coach. All the best for Sunday. Thank you.